A lot of things had to be postponed the past 2.5 years, almost 2.5 years. But the past 2 years for sure, a lot of questions about events that were going to be able to take place or not, and different types of activities, and especially when it comes to our veterans, and in particular the honor flights that we saw across the country postponed, delayed. Well, now Lincoln Land Honor Flight, they are cleared for takeoff. And to talk more about that is one of the organizers behind the scenes, getting a whole bunch of veterans ready to go for a series of flights that starts tomorrow. And our team here with WMAY is actually going to be aboard that flight. Looking forward to what our guy Kyle is able to put together to document this. The first flight since COVID started. With Springfield's Morning News, I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY. Steve Wheeler, thanks for taking time with us this morning. It's a pretty big deal. And I know that there's a lot of veterans who, they've been waiting for this, and they're going to get their opportunity tomorrow. What's going on?
Hey, Greg. Thanks for having me on, buddy. Hey, we're ready to go here. After 26, 27 months, something like that, we're going to get a flight in the air tomorrow, and we couldn't be more excited about it. There's been a lot of logistical changes here over the last couple of years. We really had to build this organization from scratch again. All the people that we have made contacts with and relationships with, who we needed to depend on to make this flight work, have all changed. Personnel has changed. There's staff shortages, and which makes a lot of complications as well. But we got this thing going. We're ready to go. We're pumped. All the volunteers are rubbing their hands and rolling up their sleeves, and we're going to make a hell of a day out of this tomorrow.
It's going to be pretty awesome. Now, of course, there's always the send-off, but welcoming those veterans back tomorrow is important for the community to show up. Give us those details.
Yeah, we plan on, of course, we meet at the airport at 4:15 in the morning, and we're out of here for the day. Our plan is to get back to the airport about 9:30 tomorrow night. We want that airport full, guys. And I'm sure it will be. We have 92. Let me give you the breakdown for the flight here. We have 92 vets that are going to be on this flight. Now, these are all World War II, Korean, and Vietnam. We actually have one World War II vet with us on this flight. He's a 99-year-old veteran,
that's incredible.
We're going to treat him with kid gloves tomorrow, obviously. But there's going to be 92 vets on tomorrow, 86 guardians, and 5 staffers. The plane's full. We carry 183 every time, and we're going to make this happen.
It's pretty incredible to think about the array of different veterans you have there, and also the World War II veteran that you've got on board there. Steve, the past 2 years have been tough, and I know this is not something we want to think about, but it's good to remember those that we have lost. Have we lost veterans that were hoping to get on the flights that were postponed in the past 2 years?
Craig, we have, Craig. Yeah. When my call volunteers call to reserve the veterans for the flight and book the flight, we've had several that have just ceased, several that just cannot make the flight any longer. Of course, those guys are now eligible for the flightless program, and hopefully we can get that to them here fairly soon in between flights, regular flights. We've lost some guys. It's heartbreaking. It's the worst part of this job, Greg.
Yeah, I would imagine. But the ability to get cleared for takeoff tomorrow is when they're going to take to the skies with a plane full of veterans from across the spectrum going over to Washington, D.C. And, of course, all the volunteers behind the scenes as well, those guardians that are going to be there to really take care of all the needs of these veterans. Tell us about what you've seen in the past, Steve, being part of this for years now. The emotions, the sharing of stories, the camaraderie that you see amongst these veterans that may have not served in the same platoon together, but they may have been in the same countryside together. Talk about, I guess, some of the incredible stuff that they share with each other and things they may have not talked about for years.
Yes, when a veteran takes a flight like this with 92 other veterans, 91 other veterans, it's a whole different type of a program. I mean, some of these vets have actually been to D.C. With their families or whatever the case might be, but when you go with a group like this that all have common interests, that have shared what what they have gone through. Some of it completely horrible, and they can be with the other vets that have experienced this as well. I always tell a story. You guys are probably getting tired of it, but at the Vietnam Wall on every flight, there's usually a group, 5, 6, 7, 8 vets that are at the wall, and they've all got their arms around each other, or whatever the case might be, and nobody says a word, and nobody knows each other, but they just reflect, and they try to heal from what's been bothering them, the demons that have been bothering them for decades now. And that's the point of this flight, to make the lives better for these veterans that did so much for us.
Steve Wheeler is one of the organizers behind the scenes with the Land of Lincoln Honor flights, and they, after 27 months or so, are cleared for takeoff, and they're going to be leaving from the Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport tomorrow morning, bright and early, 4:30 in the morning, but they will be back at 9:30 at the Capital Airport here in Springfield, so definitely get the community out there and welcome those veterans back after that flight to Washington, D.C. to see the war memorials in their honor. And Steve, you've got a whole list of flights, one every month here coming up. Tell us about all these different flights, and are there still seats available for people who may have missed the opportunity to get on this particular flight?
Well, again, we work off of a wait list, Greg, and we fly in order of the applications, the date of the application. So we, at this point, still have, now I'm not counting the flights we've already booked, but we have almost 740 veterans on the wait list waiting to fly. So we have of course, the June flight is ready here for tomorrow night. We have the July flight, the July 19th flight booked. And we're working right now on booking the August 30th flight. And then we have 2 more after that. We have a September flight and then a November 1 flight as well. So we're going to try to put 5 in the air here this year. Well, we are going to put 5 in the air here this year. And whatever it takes next year, as many flights as we could possibly get through this wait list, because we're tired of losing veterans. We're tired of making these guys wait, and we're going to really roll up our sleeves here and get as many flights up in the air here in the next year or so as we possibly can.
Steve, how can people help outside of volunteering to be a guardian? How can they provide some financial assistance? Guardians are always needed. Freelance guardians, of course, they pay their own way. There's some discrepancy about that, but the guardians do pay their own way, and it's about $515, and that's just our cost for them to go. We don't make any money off of that at all. But yeah, guardians, always need good guardians. Volunteers at the airport, possibly they can reach us on the website, which is landoflincolnhonorflight.org, to put a request in to help. We'll get back to them as soon as we can. Everybody needs to follow our Facebook page here for the flight, and from now on, we're going to have, with Kyle's help, we're going to have periodically updated information about the flight as the flight is actually occurring tomorrow. So you can get hold of us through the Facebook page, obviously, as well. So, come on out and support us, and try to get involved with the organization if you possibly can. Steve Wheeler, one of the organizers with the Land of Lincoln Honor flight. They are cleared for takeoff tomorrow morning, and they'll be back at the Lincoln Capital Airport tomorrow evening at 9:30. Let's get the community together and welcome those veterans back after a 27-month hiatus of the Land of Lincoln Honor flights. They are back, and they're going to be taken to the airs tomorrow. Greatly appreciate your time this morning, Steve, and best of luck tomorrow, all right?
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it.
It is Springfield's Morning News now with 92.7 WMAY. Springfield